welcome to the FanMouth Fantasy Roundtable. I'm Erin here with Dave and Jeff to give you our picks for Week 9 Daily Fantasy Tight Ends. Dave, who was your pick this week?
Well, I'm taking Jordan Reed of the Redskins this week. It's a very popular game. Everybody's got running backs, wide receivers, seemingly every position going in this game. I'm going to go with the tight end in this game. Jordan Reed has been great in recent weeks, has become Washington's number one receiver, or one of Jeff's favorites, Garcon. He's on a roll. There's nothing about this matchup that says that roll is going to end. I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think he's going to be Washington's top receiver again, probably their top point producer overall. So I didn't have him last week. I wish I did. I'm putting him in there this week.
Yeah, I think Reed has proven that he's a very good option right now. I wanted to wait a week to see what happened last week, and he led all tight ends in receiving. So he's definitely proven that he belongs, and he is now should be considered a top 5 option this week. I myself, though, went with Jordan Cameron because I believe he's a better... What? Go ahead.
Top 5?
Yeah. What do you think? Was he top 2?
Top 1.
Top 1. He's better than Graham and Gronk.
Well, Gronk was disappointing last week, and Graham's kind of banged up.
So Reed is number 1.
Wow. I mean...
You heard it from Dave. I've got Jordan Cameron, who I believe to be about the 3rd best tight end or so.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No.
What's wrong with Jordan Cameron?
No, go ahead.
And he's priced as the 5th. So you're getting good value there. Jordan Cameron, for some reason, just keeps getting overlooked, as you see. He's just one of the best tight ends there is, period. And he keeps proving it no matter who his quarterback is. Yet people don't want to buy in. And I keep capitalizing on it all the time. So I like that he's still underpriced like that.
Well, my biggest problem with the selection is that you've got Gordon at wide receiver as well. I mean, you got 2 Cleveland receivers in a game against Baltimore that I don't see as a Washington, San Diego type.
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are not on the team anymore. You realize that, right? You keep referring to like these old teams that, the old Browns versus the old Ravens is no effect on
Wait a
this
minute.
matchup.
Baltimore's coming off one of your buys. The rejuvenating. This defense is going to come. Ray Rice is going to come to life after the bye, according to one of your old theories.
No, not for everyone.
And
for the
Baltimore
runners and the quarterbacks.
This is a big game for Baltimore.
Playoff
implications for them. They're playing Cleveland, and Cleveland's got their 3rd-string quarterback.
Why are you saying Cleveland like Cleveland's not a good team?
3rd-string quarterback. Cleveland is not a good team.
Cleveland is a good team.
Oh.
What's bad about Cleveland?
They haven't done well lately.
They've done pretty well. As soon
How'd
as
they
they
do
traded
last week?
Okay, last week. Well, how'd
Well,
they do the weeks before that?
I'm talking about lately.
Just last week. That's all we're going off of.
Well, that's lately, isn't it?
Oh, my goodness. Erin.
You guys need some fuel for your fire. I'm going to give you some. You can give me plenty of the debate, the hot seat over here. My tight end's not named Jordan. My tight end is named Kyle Rudolph. I'm going with him because Christian Ponder needs a check down receiver, and that guy's Kyle Rudolph. He has caught everything that's come his way. He's been reliable, and there's just no competition for in terms of receivers on that team. The Cowboys have struggled against tight ends thus far this season, last week being an exception. Calvin Johnson sort of took over the show, but besides that, they have struggled against tight ends, and I think for a very low price, Kyle Rudolph could have a big week. Not huge, but for his price.
I'd rather have Cameron.
Me too. I don't have enough.
Yeah, well, that's saying a lot for Dave. No, I'm glad you brought up the matchup, though, about how the Cowboys give up a lot of points. What could scare people away from Jordan Reed is the matchup this week. The San Diego Chargers give up the 26th most points to tight ends, so that could scare people away. But they haven't faced any good tight ends. So what I'm encouraging you to do is when you're looking at stats, don't just look at the overall ranking. Go back and look, see who they played. Owen Daniels tore them apart. This is not a bad matchup for Jordan Reed, even though on paper it looks like it is.
How's the matchup for Kyle Rudolph?
Well, Kyle Rudolph, like I've said before, sometimes it doesn't matter how good the matchup is. Like with Dexter McCluster, you still have the player. If you suited me up and put me up against one of these bad defenses, I'm not going to get you 15 points.
We know that.
That's what I'm saying. You still have to have the good player. It's not only about the matchup.
So you're now agreeing with me that Jordan Reed's the top tight end this week?
I didn't say he's the top tight end.
You had a lot of good stuff to say about him.
He's a good pick. He's not the best pick. Cameron's the best pick.
you have any gripes to pick with Kyle Rudolph?
What is there
I
to
told
say?
you. No,
I
think it's a good week. I think that it's a good week for tight ends. At other positions, the high-priced guys are on bye this week. This is a week where all the good tight ends are playing. I think there's a lot of good options out there. I don't know that we need to dig as deep as Rudolph.
Well, he's too boomer bust too. I've talked about that. He's touchdown dependent. I don't like going with a lineup full of touchdown dependent guys or 60-yard touchdown guys, and that seems to be what you have in your lineup. So it's very risky. I mean, if all these guys hit, which I think is a long shot, then you're going to put up 200 points this week. But
my lineup was not full of them. I have Drew Brees, Des Bryant,
Ryan
Matt
Matthews, Denarius Moore, Ted Ginn, Kyle Rudolph.
That's
half
out.
your lineup right there.
Well, we differ on our opinion on how many of those are boomer bust, but we'll see what happens. Those are our tight end picks this week.